Hello, everyone. It is Wednesday morning. It's early in the States. I know this. Yeah, it's a lot. I know. But there was a very specific reason why I decided to come on earlier today. Hope I'm not messing up anything. Why I needed to come on earlier today. And that's because the person that I am interviewing today, this is just their time that was going to work best for them. So, yes. So let's get started. And some people are already coming in. So, my name is Yolanda. I am locating cozy, and this is a broad chat. Yes, it's starting to flow a little bit easier now. So, I wanted to first give some announcements, let everybody know what's going on. I am still recovering, thankfully so, from the events of last week. I'm trying to like fix my shirt here because it looks kind of weird. But anyways, the events from last week. That was just absolutely wonderful. We had the meetup in Madrid and we had the meetup in Zaragoza, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful experience. And I'm so thankful that I got to share um, what I know about Madrid and share my new home here in Zaragoza. So it was just great. We ate, we laughed hard. We sang. We were going to lose our black girl cards because the songs that we were singing. But anyways, I'll tell you about that later on. And let's see here. So let's go ahead and get started. Make sure that you do like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you'll know whenever I do post um, any kind of new content, if I upload or I go live like I decided to do this morning. And yeah, you'll be in the know with me. Okay. What else is going on? Boom, boom, boom. Well, let's talk about, oh, you know what? I did want to say one thing, and that is I've had quite a few people actually reach out to me on Facebook to friend request me, and I usually don't do that. I try to keep it separate. The best way to follow me or see what I'm up to is on Instagram, on IG, just locating cozy. And I believe all of my contact information is in there. But if you're on Instagram, just go to locating cozy and you'll see me. Yeah. And so just FYI, if you sent me a friend request on Facebook and I haven't replied back, I'm not being rude. I just don't usually tend to, or I actually have to back off from that because I do share some other things on Facebook also that I might not share on Instagram. So that's why. That's all. Although it seems like now it's starting to become, there's like a line that's being crossed right now. So I'm starting to post more things on my Facebook, but I want to keep my Facebook my Facebook. So with that, I will also let you know like what's going on in my world. Hold on, we're gonna say what's going on in my world is that yes, I will be starting a Facebook group. Yeah, Facebook group for locating cozy soon. I've already secured the name and everything, and there's another group that I'm starting, which I've already secured the name related directly to Zaragoza. But for now, if you want to know what I'm up to, make sure one, I hope that you're subscribed here to this YouTube channel, but also definitely follow me on IG. Okay, there you go. What else is going on in my world? Um, I'm kind of geeking right. I'm just letting you guys know right now. I'm kind of geeking right now because I am clearly here earlier than usual because usually when I do the lives, it's like lunchtime in the US and it's like 7 o'clock here. Well, one, the time changed last weekend in Spain. So that threw me off. And also because I'm doing this vlog earlier today, I'm a little geeked. I had some coffee and I'm kind of like, okay, so bear with me. I am a little geek. I'm a little jittery right now. I had some nice strong coffee and it has not worn off yet. Okay. Okay. Um, what else is going on? Oh, yeah. So just in general, like right now, it's getting cold. It's cold. It's like in the 60s, low 60s now, but it got down to like 54, whatever. And so here in this building, in my apartment building, which is, I guess, kind of the standard, they have the central heat that comes up through the little vents or whatever they call these things, the things that are on the wall, like send out the heat. Yeah. So you have no control over it. So it's cold, it gets cold, and then they finally just went ahead and turned on the heat, I guess through whatever sources that they use, but you can't turn it off. So there's no thermostat in my apartment, in my flat, that lets me actually turn off the heat. So the heater thing that's here in the living room and in the hallway, they're just on. Period. Thank goodness it's not the same situation in the bedrooms or in the kitchen. So I thank God for that. But yeah, I don't have the option to turn it off. And sometimes I like fall asleep on my couch, and yeah, I wake up to some serious heat. I'm like, what the heck? So, anyways, so right now I am learning about how to utilize and keeping your place warm when you really have no control. Interesting. Anyways, okay. I'm sure I have other stuff to share, but I'm going to first bring on someone that I'm so excited about, and her name is Melquea Smith, and I met her. She came to the Zaragoza meetup, and we had so much fun. And I had asked her if it was okay if I talked to her about the meetup and her experience and what everything else that she does too, because this is not her first time in Zaragoza, but she's been doing some international travel. So I just wanted to share and have a nice conversation with Melquea, and I'm so excited. So, hello, girl.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Good morning, y'all. Thank you so much for bearing with me. I know I'm not a morning person either, so thank you so much for tuning in.
And so, well, and the thing was, the reason why I decided to just go ahead and do it early, let me get rid of this, is because um, I wanted to do it live still. And it's great just to have that interaction. Yeah, the interaction between everybody during the live
Yeah.
chat, because I was just going to go ahead and just pre-record it, and I was like, no, we kind of decided, no, let's just go ahead and do it live. We'll just do it a little earlier. So here we
Yeah.
are. So before I get some information from you, Miss Melquia, I wanted to go ahead and see who's in the chat and just say hello, because some people did actually come in early or come in and join us. And
Yeah.
one is Beijing Alpha 4. So I'm so excited because I got to meet her in person yesterday because she has relocated here too. Well, she's in Zaragoza right now, but I'm hoping that she's going to go ahead and stay. I don't know if she's still going to try to scout someplace else, but I'm I'm pretty sure she's going to stay up in our area because we had a great meeting yesterday and she met my daughter and that was pretty cool. So, good morning, Beijing, or good afternoon. And hello, Aileen. How you doing? Thank you for joining. I appreciate you. And stuff. So, yes, I always forget to actually like show. Okay, yeah, I forget to show when I'm just like looking at them and I'm seeing the side chat, and I'm like, you might want to actually show them that they're actually saying something and I'm not just making things up. So, yes, thank you very much. And again, welcome, Beijing and Aileen. And anybody else that's watching this in the future on the replay, please make sure that you do like and subscribe. I'm always so thankful. I know that this is an odd time possibly to be doing a live. That's okay, because I know y'all going to watch it later on and enjoy it. So, that's fine. So, before we get started, I'm going to let this person introduce themselves and tell you a little bit about them. And I know you're like, what is this animation, this illustration in the background? We will get to that too. Okay. So take it away, girl.
Hey, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in once more. My name is Melquea Smith. I'm a children's book illustrator. That is illustrating is my bread and butter. That's what I love to do. That is something that calls to me. Obviously, I do a lot more because children's book illustration at this moment does not pay the bills. That is okay. Um, I love to travel. I ended up traveling. I started with my first solo trip to Mexico when I had a solo cruise in 2022. But before then, I traveled with my family here and there. We did group cruises, my sister, my mom, and I. And that was like the taste of getting out of the States. But it started going a solo trip to Mexico. And when I have a whole story about all of that, but that was the beginning of my year of travel of 2023. That was when I was just like, all right, I got to get out of here. I have to continue to travel more and more. And that's what led me to this travel bug that has not stopped biting me today.
Yeah. Once you get a taste, I remember my first international trip was when my daughters, because I most people know I went to college late and I was in my 40s, and it's part of a graduation and Mother's Day gift. My daughters, we went to Costa Rica, and that was my first time. And I'm not a person that likes to fly. It's like I'm like panicked. So I did that, and I think that's where it jump started. Yeah, it jump started there, and then once I came to Spain for the first time in 2018, and I was like, all right, okay, I'm starting to dig this. And now, yeah, I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna jump on the plane and go. It's like,
Yeah,
I'm still praying and just still like, but
right,
yeah, I'm
right.
gonna get on the plane and go.
Oh, I love
Didn't
that
want
so
to.
much.
As Eileen said, this conversation is great since you put Spain back on that what is that, the list of
Oh,
consideration. Okay, girl, come to see me.
oh yeah. We're gonna talk all the things.
Many things. So I know that you said that your first your first big experience besides with family was your first solo trip. You said it was a cruise.
Yeah, it was a cruise. I was on Royal Caribbean, and um, we had a staff. My job had a staff retreat at the time to New Orleans, and once my sister and I were talking. She was like, "You're in New Orleans. You might as well just like take a cruise right after that." And I was like, "No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna spend the money and do the thing." And then there was a part of me, there was like a voice that in my head was just like, there's going to be two versions of you. There's going to be like one alternate reality and one other reality. And one of those realities is going to be you are on that deck and it's the middle of the night and you have music in your ears and the wind is blowing in your face and you are going to be singing, just singing like the music that you're listening to. And then another alternate reality is going to be where you slept on yourself. And which reality do you want that to be? And I don't know how it just, that was just something that I was just like, you know what? I'm tired of saying no to myself. I'm tired of, you know,
Mm.
I'm so sick and tired of just like waiting and waiting for like a perfect time or a perfect moment, and I'll figure it out. Like I'll pay for it some other way and I'll figure it out. And I did. And I had a really good time. I had a wonderful experience. Um, and it was also nice having that inside cabin to myself. Those beds are small, all right?
Yes. I no, I'll say this, I've never been on a cruise. I
Uh-huh.
don't even have an urge to go on a cruise. I've had family members that are like, "Hey, we're going on a family cruise and go ahead and, plan." And one of my sisters has really just been like wanting me to go. And I was like, "Okay, well, if you come to Spain with me, then I'll go on the cruise." So she's come to Spain. She came last year. I I ain't gone on that cruise yet. Okay. I ain't gone on the
My
cruise yet.
sister is the cruiser. She loves she I think she would be like the direct inspiration or the funnel into travel for me.
Mhm.
But she is definitely the person that loves to go on cruises. She loves to um, like she was known as like the planner for our trips and things like that. To her dismay, but that's okay because now that I've had solo trips and now that I have a partner who is very logistical heavy, that rubbed off on me. And now I could actually like start planning my own trips and work backwards of like, I know where I want to be in November 2025. Now, how I'm going to get there, and just like work my way backwards into like whatever trip or whatever country or how am I going to get there. And I have like my own like method of being able to plan these trips now. And
Mhm.
it's awesome. It's really
She
awesome.
said, when you said he is very logistical heavy.
He's the logics guy, man. He is, yeah, he's the one that's like, what are we gonna do? How much gas mileage do we have? How are we gonna get there? And I'm just
Sorry,
like,
just a second, guys.
oh sure.
I don't know what's going on here, but yeah, we're not gonna start that mess. This is not about that life.
Is the internet being weird?
Yes, it is.
Come
Okay.
on, internet. Get it
It's like,
together.
okay, stop. Yes, we're gonna have to yeah. And put user in a timeout. I don't even want to. 24 hours. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Like, I don't know what's going on here, but yeah. Anyways, ah, so I'm sorry. You were saying I just had to go in
Oh,
and watch
that's
somebody because
okay.
I don't want to hear all that mess. Okay.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think
This
so.
is my
But yeah,
Zen area.
so
This is our Zen area. Hell no. Okay.
mm-mm. Yeah, absolutely not. So
So you were
yeah,
talking
so
about your
basically,
significant other and the traveling.
oh yeah, so logistics guy. He is like the logistics human, and he's very much like, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna get there? What gas mileage? Which car is the best rental car for X, Y, and Z? And I'm just like, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna feel? What are we gonna eat? Like that's that is what's the vibe like? That's literally how I am. But that's rubbed off on me since I have had my own solo trips, and I'm like, oh, I need to figure out how am I going to get from point A to point B, and what bus or what train is going to take me there, and like how is that going to work? So yeah, I've had to take on that role of being the logistics queen, but now I can flip flop now. It's like okay, I can add that into my repertoire.
Yes. Okay, I got you. Got you. So the first time that you, okay, outside of the cruise, the first time that
Yeah.
maybe you flew to another, like an international, another country, what was
Yes.
that like? Where was it? What was it like?
Was it? Yeah, it was my first trip to Spain. Um,
Oh,
so yes, last year. I want to say last year. It had to been last year, 2023. Anyway,
mhm.
my partner and I had our 10-year anniversary of being together in March, and we were just like, what are we gonna do? And we were just like thinking about all these different places, like all these different like possibilities of where to go. And I was like, well, we're pretty open. We could go someplace in the States, we could go someplace abroad, like, but it was just so I started getting overwhelmed. So I'm definitely the type of person that if I get too many suggestions or too many things, I just like shut down and get overwhelmed. So so we had a whole list of places that we wanted to experience or wanted to go to. And it was like pricing was like the cost of it. It was just all these little things that just kept making me like discouraged. And I was like, oh, this is too expensive. Like I thought about going to like South Carolina, going to Charleston, and I thought about all different places that we
Where were
wanted to
you
go
based
to.
at in the United States at that time?
We're based in upstate New York.
Okay,
So,
okay.
yeah. So the cool part is the ability to go to New York City and then fly out is a luxury for sure. Um,
Okay.
and and I signed up for this membership called Going, and it was formerly known as Scott's Cheap Flights. And I get all of these flight deals in
Mhm.
my inbox. And it's usually I signed up for the economy flight, so it was like you would get like Paris 383 round trip. Actually, let me see. I can log into my inbox right now and I can tell you. Let me see what we got. Tulum 209, $209 from November to February from New York City. Look at that.
Just send me
Like
that link
Europe.
on the private chat so I can post it just,
Sure
as a
can.
resource. I can do that.
Absolutely. And that was one of the many resources that I've used to travel for a lot less. Um,
Mhm.
Points and miles, pet sitting, all the like different hacks and things. But I saw one email that came into my inbox, and it had the fire emoji, and it said Barcelona 182 round trip, and I was like, I think
Well, they let you take, okay, 182 round trip. Do you get to bring a
round
bag?
trip.
Okay. Because I'm,
Uh, I think it was like a basic economy type situation, like your hand luggage. But if you're
mm,
depending on how you pack, and if you're going there for a weekend, like usual Americans do, um, no shade, y'all, no shade. I know the PTO system really sucks. Okay, but you can make it work. If you're smaller, you going in the summertime, and you're going for like 3 days, you might only need your little hand baggage. But I ended
well,
up upgrading. I ended
I
up
was gonna
upgrading
say
my.
this is the same person that showed up in Zaragoza instead with the book bag. That was it. It was like,
Well, that's because wait, that was because I was staying at another place and I only needed it for that weekend.
yeah.
So I do have like a little suitcase and it's like an international size suitcase. Um and it was a journey um packing about 2 months worth of clothes.
Mhm.
And basically I just made sure that I had access to a washer dryer and packed for about a week and change and then just swapped out my outfits as needed. And
Okay.
did my best. I tried my best not to accumulate. It's hard, y'all. It's hard.
Make sure you drop that link in the chat or
Absolutely.
in the chat here, in the private chat here, or on
Yeah.
WhatsApp. You can send it to me on WhatsApp if that doesn't
You
work.
got it.
But the and I have to say this. So I was in Madrid for a couple of days last week, and the first time, this is my first time that all I brought, it wasn't a book bag, but I had my backpack because I have like my electronics, my laptop, and everything in there. And then I had one like carry on. I mean, I just took a train, but I just
Yeah.
had one carry on luggage that had my clothes for the 3 days that I was there. And you
Yep.
have to understand that's a big deal for me.
Oh my
But I
gosh.
was actually inspired by a young lady that came through Zaragoza a few weeks ago, Raina, and she literally has been traveling all around for months just with a carry on and a backpack, and that's it. So I
Yep.
said, I think I can try to do the same thing, in which I did. And I was very proud of myself. And then you one up me just with a backpack. I mean, just
Well,
with
that
a book
was
bag.
and I swear, I literally have a suit. I got like a small suit, and it's international size, so like international carry-on size, which is small. Like I'm like, "Whew," but it's okay. It's all right. It's okay. I can do this. And I'm
Yeah.
still that year of travel really taught me how to pack and figure out like what I needed. I actually because I miss what's the word? I was unprepared, y'all. Like I was originally in the UK and then I was also in the Netherlands, and then I went to Spain, and then the next place that was I was going to go to was I went to Portugal, and so I was packing for Spain and Portugal, thinking that it was going to be hot, forgetting that I was going to be in the UK and the Netherlands in the fall,
Okay. What was that like?
and then realizing Spain gets cold. There's no like there are some places that are nice and temperate all year round, but Spain is it's a it's a to me it's a big country where there's a vast amount of climate and weather. So up north it gets rainy and stormy and a little cold, but it's very green and lush. And that's my thing. I'm like I'm actually sensitive to the sun. I actually don't want
Mhm.
to be in Madrid in August. I feel like I would literally wither up and crumble and die. Um, where I was in central Spain, so I was in the Madrid area, in Zaragoza, Toledo, and then in the region of Segovia, and it was cold. It was cold. I was, you know, close to the mountains, and it wasn't as cold as like say the UK. The UK is like a Seattle wet cold, and I got to the point where I was like, I can't do this. I need thermals, and so I just went to like any place that I could find to get thermals, like from under my pants and under my top,
Mhm.
because I was like, this is I need I need
Yes,
some
I just
shelter.
invested in some thermal tights, for the first time ever. I got 2 pair, and they're awkwardly uncomfortable. Well, one, like the color, they
Mm.
were like, "It's a caramel." Their version of caramel here is not caramel. It was like,
What
"It's a
brand did you get it
caramel, it's a
from?
brown." I don't know, it was like some online, yeah, it was. I'm
I'll,
like,
I'll
"Well, I'm
I'm
gonna."
gonna promote. I'll promote the true brand that does it. They're called Melanin Fleece Tights, and they were the OG when it came to the
Did you
colors. Yeah, what's up?
here in Spain?
No, not in Spain. Online.
No, that's what I'm saying. Do they ship to Spain, or do they ship to
Oh,
it's only US?
they should. I don't see why not.
Okay, I'm
But
getting some information here.
yeah,
Melanin.
Yep, melanin fleece tights. And all these companies, they end up buying from like the company and then they resell them. And then they have these Instagram ads and all this other stuff. And it's like, no, you got to get it from the OG people. They were the ones that were like, yeah, it's really cool.
I am so looking that up because again, like the ones that I got, I know we're jumping all over the place, but if you know my
I know,
channel,
yeah,
you
I'm
know that's
sorry.
me. There. So now we got two. You got two extroverts that jump all over the place and go like squirrel. So just it is what it is, okay? But melanin fleece tights, I'm about to look that up. Okay.
Yeah. Listen, friends, I'm about to drop all the gems. Ain't no gatekeeping over here, all right?
And I will be sharing that in the
All the
description,
linkies.
if not in the comments. But yeah, I'll be sharing that in the description once I finish here. And what was the name of that other
Oh,
the
going. I also have like a little, if you
you have a cheat sheet?
recommend, yeah, a little recommend.
Okay,
But yeah, it's called
cool.
goinggut.com. I don't know how they got that. I don't know how they got that URL. They must have paid a lot of money for that URL, but you know what? They did it and they rebranded, and I'm just so proud of them. Anyway.
Okay. Let me go ahead and welcome. Hello. Let's talk about it with Mara and stuff. And she said, nice, that would be a challenge for me, I guess, to pack light like that. It's
Yeah,
it's a learned skill that I think
it
is
is.
evolving. Yeah, I think it's
And
just
it's
evolving.
every time you do it, you practice a little bit more. So you can keep stock of like, okay, so what haven't I worn? So like half the stuff in my suitcase I haven't worn because it was cold as heck. I was like, oh no. Like I brought like skirts and I brought like a spaghetti top dress that has not even left my suitcase because it was too cold for it. And so now that I have experienced Spain in the fall and know like in that region in the fall, I know like what to expect next time. Um,
Hmm.
and you just keep an eye out like what shoes haven't I worn? Like I packed 3 pairs of shoes. I have like my everyday black shoes that I walk around with. I have a not so comfortable white pair of shoes that I like them, but they're not comfy for these European streets. And then I had a pair of combat boots that I love. They dress up my outfits. They give me a little edge to my outfits, especially when I'm on my princess vibes. But they're not comfortable for for these European streets. So I've only worn the black shoes, and I'm like, dang, you know. But now I know the next time I come back, I know what to wear, or I know what shoes to look for, um, so that I can actually enjoy most of my
Yeah.
outfits.
I'm still on a
Yeah.
mission trying to find. I haven't really taken the time, but I do need to get like I want to get. I really want to get some knee high boots. I want to get some knee high boots that they sell here. They look like combats, or they have the big soles on the bottom that are like really
Yeah,
thick.
the super
It's just
chunky ones. Yes.
yeah. I
I'm on
thought
the
that those
hunt.
things were so freaking ugly at first, and now I'm like, I got to get some. I have to.
I I love I'm into like Japanese alternative fashion. I love alt fashion, and I've been seeing these like chunky like street sneakers, and they're like a chunky heel or like a chunky sole, and I'm looking for something that's like sporty, stylish, but also comfortable because I walk a lot. So I'm just trying to like find that, and I just need to do a lot of research on like what is it because a lot of these brands are stylish, but they're not functional. Or a lot of the
Hmm.
functional brands, like your orthopedics, aren't stylish. And I'm like, I need something that's like right in the middle. And
Yeah.
I'm on the hunt. I'm on the hunt. I'm going to start Google Lensing these European people's shoes.
Well, the thing is with with the shoes that I've seen that are like the really thick, I feel
Yeah.
like, and maybe it's just in my brain somewhere, but I feel like I'm gonna be walking around on stilts and I'm gonna fall right over. That's that's what I'm scared of.
Yeah. And I want to go to like, I think what I want to do the next time I come to Europe is just go I want to say shopping, but like in a sense of like finding those like staple pieces of my outfits. Because if
Mhm.
I the chunky shoe, you know, that will only work well if they are on the airplane shoes. They won't really work
Okay.
well, and they'll take up so much space in the luggage. So if I can get like a thinner pair of shoes or something that works well, that's a little waterproof. So if it rains or whatever, and then like another boot type situation that works well, um, then that'll be really helpful for when I go overseas. So
Okay.
it's all a part of like trying to be tactical and like, okay, but will this actually fit in my luggage? Because that's important. That's important for the way I move and shake.
So we know that packing the luggage or things like that can be challenging, but what other, like, I guess, like I said, what are the challenges, some of the challenges that you face, that you feel like you had to face with international travel?
Hmm. Some of the challenges. I
I mean, or
think
you can just say none at all. It was completely easy all the time.
it's not always easy all the time, but things have gone much smoother than I originally like anticipated.
Mhm.
Like finding SIM cards because right now my phone is not a dual SIM type situation. I got your little the Galaxy S10. She is cracked. She is she is all sorts of
Oh,
messed up. But I'm riding that thing until the wheels fall off. I
to
don't
the
want to be
very
moved
end.
very
Okay.
end. I'm not. It is not in the budget to get a new phone at this moment. But um, so what I'll do is I'll usually get like a SIM card when I. That's like the first thing that I tend to do. That or
Mhm.
like hop on the Wi-Fi calling or try to do like Wi-Fi, and just like figure out where I'm situated at first, and then like the sec. So getting situated is like my first thing that I do like when I travel. I also like to travel much more long term. I realized pretty quickly that I don't like bouncing around like every week or every few days. I like to settle into a place. I like to get like I like to kind of soak in, get steeped into like the community or like just see like what's around. And yeah, I'm a much more slower traveler than I thought I was. Um so that's like the first thing, try to get settled and figure out where all the things are. Um I'm trying to figure out like what is the toughest thing that I usually face. Sometimes it's a little bit of loneliness,
Mhm.
and but there are ways to like circumvent that. And I consider myself like an ambivert, so I do like, you know, I love being with people, but it also takes energy out of me, so I also have to kind of be alone sometimes. But at the same time, yeah, that's like the biggest thing. And then I think the other thing that is a little tough for me sometimes when I'm traveling is standing out, which is hilarious coming from the person
I'm
who
sorry,
is
what?
very,
It's like I
yeah,
saw
I
you a mile
mean,
away, girl.
yeah,
With the
I
hair.
mean, yeah. So
But you know what? It's your truth. It's your, yeah. It's her truth. Okay.
I know. And it's just like sometimes I'm like walking around, I'm like, why are these people looking at me? And then I'm just like, wait a minute. Wait
She
a
got
sec.
so many compliments on her hair while she was here. Okay, she got so many, just loving every minute of it.
And then most of the time too, I'll swap my glasses out and I have a pair of like pink heart-shaped glasses. So yeah, no. And I'm just like, wait a second. Don't forget, you're literally in the middle of like Osaka, Japan, and you are literally at a grocery store, like a local grocery store, and you're picking out like 22 US dollar grapes. Like, of course, people are gonna stare
Jesus.
at you.
Okay.
Oh, it was worth it. Every bite was worth it. I will do it again.
Wow. She's like, yep, that's a memorable. That would be a memorable. I can't say it. Memorable experience. $22 grapes in Japan.
Oh,
Okay.
so good. Every single grape was
Are
like
they
an
like that
experience.
cotton candy kind or something else?
They're like big and juicy, and every single it just I didn't even eat like the full grape, like and just when you just like pop a whole grape in your mouth because it was so big. So I just like bit one and a half and I was like, oh, this is so good. And then I bit another one and a half and I was like, oh, this is amazing. It was just like I love oh, it was amazing.
Wow, wow. Well, that definitely takes the experiences. So I'm going to jump down. Well, you know what? Before we even start asking some more questions, I want to know, help me understand, what is Pretty Kitty Paintings?
So Pretty Kitty Paintings is The name started off as one of my cats' nickname, Pretty Kitty, and it just became that thing. So I am an illustrator. I've always drawn ever since I could pick up a pencil. And I was that kid in the corner doodling on my homework, doodling in class, just always drawing. And that just became a thing that I was obsessed with. I still am obsessed with drawing and illustration and all that and all that stuff. I was originally inspired through video games and animation. And I always thought that I would like be like a video game painter or like, a concept artist. That was like where that started off. And I got online and and I was one of the, I'm a millennial. I was born in 94. So I grew up on the internet. And so I started learning that there were people online that were like painting and drawing online and they're getting paid for it. And I was like, wait a second, you can get paid for this? And that's when it all started. Yeah.
Wow. See, I would lose a job. They would fire me just doing paint by numbers. I can't draw a straight line. It's just not happening. Okay. I cannot draw a straight line with a
Yeah.
ruler. I cannot draw a straight line.
I don't like straight lines either. That's why you just learn how to draw curves and circles. Like
Yeah,
that's why you can see like most of my art is very fluid, very circular, very soft. So I don't do these straight. I'm not an
yeah,
architectural designer. Mm-mm. You will not catch me architecturally designing, interior design. Nah, I'm good. I will
yeah.
absolutely love drawing a soft, squishy kid.
Oh, she's just staring over your shoulder right now. She's just so
Yeah.
cute. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what is this
So
character's name? What is her name?
what is her name? I don't think I have a name for her. Oh shoot, that's a good question. Um,
We need to switch that background and stuff to her just giving you side eye, like, okay.
yeah, I need to start doing that. So some of the characters have names, some of the characters don't, and I would like to start. I'm gonna start making more illustrations with all these different kids and all these different these backgrounds. Um, yeah. So when I started illustrating, I had to pivot because I started getting into the convention scene where you go into like anime and video game conventions. You can sell your artwork. Um, I ended up taking a mentorship class and I was doing all the things. I had like a Facebook and Instagram, like YouTube at the time. I was doing all these different things. And my mentor was like, you need to slow down, you need to pick one and choose a lane. It doesn't have to be forever, but just choose a lane. I wanted to originally be in animation and I originally wanted to be
Mhm.
in illustration. So those are two completely different industries and two completely different how do you say like different pathways to getting into
Okay.
breaking into that industry. And I was like, okay, it was either animation or illustration. And then I even hyper focused into publishing and even more so into children's books. And so I saw this little illustration that I did and I was just like, okay, that's the one that's calling to me. We're gonna work on breaking into publishing. And in 2020, I did that. I broke in, illustrated my first picture book, which is called Two Homes in Omar's Heart. And that's published with Room to Read. And then I illustrated two additional books, one called The Time Machine, that was published by Cardinal World Press. And that was published last year. And then the other one that was published last year is called The Biggest Gift of All, which was published by Includus Publishing. So,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
I'm putting this in the chat. I put your basic
prettykittypaintings.com
link.
slash books.
Yes, but I'm just
I should have put all
loving,
my
like,
book.
I see
Yeah,
the illustration for the biggest gift of all, and I'm like, oh,
yeah.
and I'm like,
Tasha, my
because
little
y'all,
girl.
y'all know I have a granddaughter, um, so she's about to be, wow, she'll be 3 next week. This
Oh my
weekend? Next week.
gosh.
Oh my God.
What?
Anyways, yes, I'm like
So
wanting to.
big.
Of course, we love to get. That's our whole goal is to get books that that are
Diversify
relevant to
your
her.
bookshelves. Yeah,
That she can see herself in. Very
absolutely.
important. And we have finding them either in Spanish or in English because yeah,
Yeah,
to make sure that there's good balance there. But yes, okay,
yeah. I love
it's
going
Christmas
into like
time.
the
I'm about to come up on
bookstores.
something. Okay. Like, man. Okay.
Oh, I love it. I love it. But yeah, so I took a break from working with publishers, and I was just like, okay, I want to redo my portfolio. I want to start illustrating things that like really like knock my socks off, like I want to. So that's where I've been on my illustration world, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna take a little break. I took a couple of mentorships, did a little bit of research, and just like took this year to travel as well, and and I've
Yeah.
also been, I was like, all right, I'm just gathering inspiration, and I plan on launching a membership program where folks can be able to use my artwork for their own projects. So that's
Okay.
the big thing that I'm working on, because I realized that a lot of folks will reach out to me for like children's book work, and it usually doesn't work out, especially for my self-published folks. And I tend to focus on working with publishers. Um, and there's something in the middle where it's just like, how can I provide my artwork for people in an affordable way, but at the same time allow for me to be able to express myself and work on the things I really want to work on. And so that's the thing that I plan on launching in February. And I'm super excited. I'm super excited to work on it. Um, and just provide illustrations every month to folks who are in that membership, and they can use it for their blog posts, they can use it for their social media, they can, as long as they don't feed it into AI and actually sell the artwork, that would be really that would be nice. um, that would be really nice. And the idea started off with how you ever go, you're making a presentation on like a presentation, or you're on Canva and you're trying to find like illustrations of black kids or illustrations of black and brown kids, and you're just like, I don't see anything. Or you look at this one illustration, you're like, that looks kind of weird. It looks like they just drew like some generic kid and just put some brown on the skin, and they didn't illustrate it with that authentic lens of that lived experience. And that's
Hmm.
where I'm coming in. It's just like, there needs to be a way that people can find black and brown kids and those illustrations and use that for whatever projects that they're working on, and that they're illustrated with the love and care that they deserve.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So is there a way for you like on Canva to have the licensing through like a Canva platform or something like that, or is that
Yes.
not even in the best
Oh.
interest of your I don't know how that works.
Yeah, so I looked into it a little bit, and the thing that Canva really likes to do is they like to have it in this format called vector. And the way that
Mhm.
I illustrate is more raster. So these two different formats. So vector is like, you can expand the image as large as you want or as small as you want, and it'll stay like that image. Raster,
Okay, it
there's going
won't
to be
get
a point.
digitized.
Yeah, raster, there's a point where it gets pixely and pixelated.
Okay.
And that is, and I'm a painter by heart. So I'm planning on, so once I realized that that is a format that they want it to be, I was like, I don't really work in that format. So we're going to see. So I was like, I don't know if
Okay.
that's going to be the best fit for me. So once I was just like, okay, I know the plan now. I know, because I could have went to the Canva route or the Pexels or whatever your what is it called? Your stock imagery
Mhm. Yeah.
is. Yeah. But I
Okay. Wow,
decided, I
that's
was like,
interesting. You know, you're still in the
yeah.
learning phases and discoverings of how which way you want that to go. So that's pretty amazing though that you have that skill set because like I said, I can't draw. I have the handwriting of a serial killer. And yeah, so you're good. Yeah. Okay. My handwriting is bad. But anyways, I embrace it now. Okay. And so good morning, Dee. This is
Good
Dee from
morning.
H&D Abroad. Hey there, girl. She's my partner. Yes.
Good
My
morning.
partner in crime. Yeah. I'm trying to get her over here to Spain too.
Ooh.
And so, and let's see, let's talk about it with Mara says, I found a love for Canva and digital design. Not sure if I want to explore, and thank you for sharing. Okay.
Yeah.
Happy to. So let's go ahead and let me get some other questions out here. Um, where you've been, I know you said you've been to the Netherlands, the
Hmm.
UK,
Yes.
Spain,
Uh,
um, what,
Chile and Japan.
Chile? Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Chile,
okay.
Japan. And that's
So,
everybody? Is that everybody? I think so.
wow.
Yeah, that's
What,
everybody. That was the last year.
which country do you think had the most culturally different experience for you?
Culturally different ones.
I mean, there's all, but I guess it's like the one where you're like maybe like, oh wow, okay, like I learned something or I
Things that are
appreciated
different.
some yeah.
I feel like all the cultures, like there's like little things that you realize when you go to other countries, and I can't pinpoint like one. So for
Okay.
Chile, I went to a place called Valparaiso, and it's almost like this grungy younger cousin of Santiago. Like, and I mean, like, so again, I'm sitting here, and like the first thing I try to do is like, okay, what's the fashion sense of these folks? You know, where do they like? What do people wear? Like, how do you? It's funny because I'll Google like how to blend in, how to not look like a tourist, and I'm looking at myself like, mm-hmm, okay, sure, yeah, all right. And so, but in Chile, there's like little like mannerisms that they'll do. So if they're on a micro or like this little bus, at even if they get off at, they get on in the front, and then you know you pay, and when you get off you say thank you, even if the bus driver doesn't hear you, and they'll go gracias, and then they go, and I'm like, and I just noticed that, and I was like, even if the driver doesn't even hear you, you just say thank you to the driver as you get off your bus, or
While it's rolling. I'm sorry.
yes, and
Yeah, it doesn't come
I
to a
was the
full
one that
stop.
I will wait until that bad boy comes to a full stop. I shall not. I shall not. I may have travel insurance, but yet I shall not want to indulge and use my travel insurance.
Tuck and roll, tuck and roll
Yeah.
off that sucker.
I thought about that, and I was like, yes, because I remember seeing people just so gracefully just step off that micro as the bad boy was rolling. I was like, oh no, we are waiting. I'm the one that waits for the bus to stop, and then I get up.
And they're like, you must really didn't want to get off. You didn't even stand up.
I
Okay.
because I will be the one to fall.
I get it. I get it.
Yep. So there's that. Japan, you don't talk on the trains. Like you just like what an American thing to do to just have like hot like just hatch up a conversation. Like, oh, where are you from? Oh, blah, blah. Oh, oh, you gotta check out this place. Blah, blah, blah. Like that is like we love to talk with each other and just talk with people. And I was with my friend Yuka at the time, and she's Japanese, and she's from Japan, and so me, and this other group of people just started like talking. We were on like the Yamanote line in Tokyo. And we were just talking, and then they got off like, "Oh, so nice to see you. Like, oh, good, so good to meet you. Have a great time. Enjoy your time." And we left, and the train was like dead silent. And Yuka looked at me like, "We don't. I can't believe like we don't do that here." And I'm like, "Oh shoot, you're right. That is such an American thing. We do that so much. We just hatch up
You're starting a new
conversations that
trend. You're
we
going to start a new
do."
trend, and they're going to say it originated with milkweed.
It's just like we don't do that. And I thought, and there's just like little things that things that people do in Spain. Um, oh, what was that thing I noticed? Oh, there was like another little like thingism that they do that Spanish folks do, and you just notice that when you're in different countries, and even to the point of if you're there long enough, you'll even notice like different regions do different things differently, and that's just
Oh
really
yeah.
cool to just and you just kind of blend in that osmosis of just like in Chile, instead of saying por favor, they would say porfa, and you just start saying it, and it's like this cute, to me it's a cute little way of saying thank please, and I'm just like that's awesome,
Yeah.
or it's just I just love just noticing those little things of like different cultures. So I don't have like a specific thing, but it's really just
Okay.
like there's all little things that people do that I love.
So well, that's cool. So, of your
Yeah.
places that you've been so far, we're going to get into Zaragoza in a minute, stuff. But of the places you've been so far, what would you say were like maybe top three places or little cities or towns or whatever that you were like? This is all right. I like it. I'll come back.
Yeah. Um, almost every one of them, but so Zaragoza was only when I first went, it was only one night, and
Mhm.
it was like a night and a day, and so I thought I saw all of it. Like I was only in Old Town, I thought I saw it all, and I was like, oh, okay, well, it's fine. And I was, yeah, sure, sure. I was very mistaken. To me, it's
Yeah.
big as heck. It's such a big city. It's huge, and it's supposed to be like the fifth largest city, and yada yada. And I'm like, sure, sure,
Mhm.
sure, but it's big. To me, it's huge. Um, and
Yeah.
you can walk all of it, so that makes me so happy.
Yes.
Um, I don't know if I'm gonna say it right, but is it Scheist or Seist? Seist in the Netherlands. It's like this
Okay.
little place in the Netherlands, and it's close to. I'm gonna butcher it. The English way of saying it is Utrecht, but I know it's like a in like the end, the back of your
It's the
throat. It's
local
like
way of
Utrecht.
saying it. Yeah.
I can't.
I haven't gotten that. I haven't gotten that.
Dutch is a
Okay.
tough one. Like, give me Spanish, give me Japanese, but Dutch is like that's a whole nother. I got to learn like the how that works. But
How long were you
yeah,
there?
I was only there for like 4 days. And it was only
Okay.
because at the time I was at the UK, and then we were going to go to Spain. And I was just like, oh, but I want to check out the Netherlands. Like, I really want to, because this was a part of the scouting trip of just saying, like, is this going to be, like, where am I going to base myself? And where do I want to move to? So I was like, but I've always wanted to check out the Netherlands. Like, I love the idea of a well-designed city, the fact that I can walk to where I need to walk to, and the fact that I can get on a bike and I can be active and choose to be active versus rolling on my bed, getting into my car so I can go grocery shopping to go back in my car and drive back home. Like, I don't know. I
Yeah.
just really wanted that change, and that I wanted to be forced to have the gym of life, basically. If I need to go to the grocery store, if I need to go to the grocery store, I go put on my walking shoes. I'm going to be investing in a really good backpack because I don't want to carry my groceries on my arms. No, that's just so much. My
Do
arms are
they have
so
the
weak.
carts there? Because here in Spain, everybody's yeah, they have the carts.
Oh
That
yeah, like in New York City, like like
yeah.
the pulleys. Yeah, I don't know if they have a. You know what? In the Netherlands, they put it in their bikes. That's what they do. Like
Oh,
if they're
okay, okay.
biking, they'll like pop that little thing in their bikes, or if they're getting like a bunch of groceries. But even then, I already foresee like my even my style of grocery shopping is going to change because the way that American food stays, I don't even want to know if I want to say fresh. Let's just say not spoiled. I
Yeah.
can go shopping, like I can go like basic shoppings, like my staples, like once a month. I go to like a Costco, whatever, once a month, and then I'll go like food shopping like every 2 weeks or so. In Europe, as far as I'm aware, and I'm pretty sure in other places in other countries,
Every other day,
I'm
just
very
about.
yeah, like
Yeah.
every few days, every other day. So it's like, I tend to shop in bulk, so I know that's going to be a big shift in the way that I'm going to be like food
And it
shopping.
is kind of hard to actually shop in bulk. I mean, they have the Costco here. They just opened up the Costco. I've told everybody about it. They
I'm
got
so
Costco
excited.
everywhere, but they just opened up one in Zaragoza. And I
Uh huh.
went. I don't know for me because I'm a party of one, although I'm, sharing some things with family, but buying in bulk here is a little bit different.
Yeah, and it's
Especially when you're a party
smaller,
of one. Yeah.
and the apartments are smaller. Like you don't have like, as far as I'm aware, I have to do more like research of like where do these like apartments, the storage looks like, but it's tough. We're a party of two and two cats, so
Yeah.
there's only so much you can do. There's only so much you can do, and then I don't really shop. I wish sometimes I was a family of five because I'd be looking at those meats and all the snacks, and I'm just like, dang, I only shop like 10% of what a Costco even offers, if that.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I know how to take that big bulk and break it down just for me. I do
right,
know how to do that. Yeah, it's like, yeah.
absolutely.
I can get a
Yeah,
15 pound bag of chicken and I can break it down into serving sizes and I'm going to be good to go and we'll use it. Okay.
yeah, absolutely. A little deep freezer if the energy prices don't
Yeah.
don't
So,
get you,
but
but
then
yeah.
also being very aware because, I there's not a lot of storage, but I have a good
Right.
amount of storage. And if anybody's seeing what I posted on Instagram, my sister, okay, so my sister-in-law came here to visit last week,
Oh, she's great.
and she got here to Madrid, and there was a whole bunch of mess, but basically they lost her luggage. They literally lost her luggage. And she
Wild.
got her luggage the day before she left to go back to the States. So with
Oh,
that, that's another story. I'm going to be talking to her sometime in the near future about that whole experience. Whoa. Anyways, but the thing was, I had said I wanted some spices, like whenever somebody comes over, like my daughter came over a few months ago and said, "Can you bring me some everything bagel spice, thing?" And think something else. And she brought, a little thing, and that was it. My sister-in-law finally got her luggage Sunday. She came out, she's like, "Oh, I have your lemon pepper seasoning, and I also have your Lowry seasoning salt." I thought it was going to be little thing. She came with these two big, huge, each two big, huge things of Lowry seasoning.
yeah.
I don't know if she got it from Sam's. I have no idea, but they're huge. And I was just like, wow. So if you're here in Spain and we're friends, yeah, you're getting some seasoning salt. Okay.
She made sure.
In a
She
cute
made
little
sure you were
jar.
set. Oh yeah,
'Cause,
you were
I mean, if
set.
not, it's gonna last for like years. Okay. Through the entire time of my 5-year visa, it's gonna
Oh,
last.
that's hilarious.
So I was like, my daughter had made a suggestion. She's like, you really could just like gift some of those and just put them in little jars. And so yeah, that's what you're getting. No surprise, that's what you're getting.
That's
Okay.
hilarious. Oh, I love it. Oh, that's
So,
fantastic.
so let's go, girl. Why did you want to come to Zaragoza again?
Because it was a vibe, all right? It was so cute. We were only in Old Town and we saw Old Town at night. We were right there by the church. We're like, oh, this is so cool. And then like the day when we were about to leave, because we only just need a pit stop
Hmm.
between I think we were in Oh, I know what happened. Okay. So for our anniversary trip, we were in Spain for about 2 weeks. And that included like a 3-dayer in France. We went to Paris for like three days. And then we went back to Spain to go fly back out. So we traveled all around. We did like a little mini road trip. And then we went to Bilbao. From Bilbao, we like parked the car, flew to France, came back, and then drove to Zaragoza and was only there for like a night. And we were like, because that we just needed to chill for a minute and then go like gun it to
Yeah.
Barcelona and
It was not
get
slow,
back
slow
home.
travel. Yeah.
So and it because it was just like, oh man, we want to do all the things, and that was the slowest we could have did it in
Hmm.
that way because we had a ton of other cities and a ton of other places we wanted to go to, and we had to kind of well we I had to uh comfort myself in just saying that I'm going to bring myself back to this place. There will it'll always be there, and I will come back. And so we were going all around. So Zaragoza was like a one nighter, and I just went, and I was like, oh, this is actually really cute. And I thought it was just that little old town, and that was it. And then when we had the plans to come back to Spain and saw that and we were like, okay, we want to come back to Spain and we want to really start scouting because the time before we were just on some tourist type stuff, tourist type
Hmm.
timing,
And that's a big
eating,
difference. It's always a
eating.
big difference between
Oh my gosh,
tourist travel and actually
yes,
scouting where you're actually
going to
getting to
live and
know.
eat,
Yeah.
yeah, and I'm talking like eating for breakfast, lunch, and dinner out, like drinking. I had vermouth is like my libation. And what's the word in Spanish? Debilidad. There it is, my weakness. I just learned that word.
What is it?
Debilidad. Think of debilitation, like
Oh.
debilidad. So vermouth es mi debilidad. It's my weakness. And I practice that so I can tell that to the bartender. Or I can tell that when I'm at the bar and I'm just like, they're like, oh, you do want anything to drink? Yeah, vermouth. Because that, I don't know what it is. It's like sweet. It's got a little bit of like bitter. And I'm not like a bitter
Hmm.
drink kind of girl, but I don't know. You saw me when I had my little cup. I was like, I missed you, baby.
She was doing love talks with it. I was like, "Do y'all need a room?" Okay, it's like she's like, "Oh, baby." Mm.
I miss you so much. Oh, mi amor, mi corazón. So
So
yes,
when you had
and
heard about, you heard about me
yeah,
putting
probably
something
in
together
some,
for people to come.
yeah, probably in like one of the groups, one of the Exodus Summit groups. I'm a part of a
Mm,
bunch of them. It could have been the pet sitting group. It could have been all sorts of different ones. But I ended up seeing it and I saw the dates and I was like, that aligns with when I'm going to be in town. I was like, can we make this work? Because I had a pet sit in Segovia,
mm,
and not like in the city, the capital of Segovia, in the province of Segovia. I'm in like this
mm.
tiny little. It was like this tiny little like town. I think it's like El Estacion. I think it's called El Estacion del El Espinar, really small like town, which actually gets a lot of festivals and stuff in the on
Okay.
season. I didn't realize that, but I when I was there, I was like, this is a little bit of a ghost town. How am I going to get over to Zaragoza? And then I realized that I can just get to Madrid and then take the
Hmm.
Renfe train to Madrid, and or take the Renfe train to Zaragoza. And I was just like, can we make this work? And I was like, well, and I was like, I don't want to take the train to and from, back and forth. I'd rather just stay in Zaragoza for a little bit and just kind of scout around, get the vibes again, because I was only there for a day, not even
Hmm.
24 hours. So, and that's what I did. And I was just glad that it worked out. And even though when I tell you I couldn't make the first day, um, I missed my train 2 times. I don't even want to know how
Everybody was
many
having issues. Okay.
let me tell you something. I don't even know how many euros I spent on that daggone on those train tickets, y'all. I don't even want to know. I'll figure that out when the statement
Because
drops. All
but
right.
you got the very basic ticket with no
I
exchanges or
did.
anything.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh, I did. And I should have just got that nice and but you know what? Learn my lesson. Scouting, y'all.
hmm.
That's what scouting does. And it was
You
really
make your
tough.
mistakes. You learn from you learn from the experience of how to
You
do it better the
do.
next time. Yeah. Yes.
Getting on the local bus, didn't even know, like I thought, oh, okay, it's like New York City, tap to pay, no problem. No, you need a local card, like a local card or cash to pay for the bus. And I didn't have cash. And and at the time I was already tired and stressed. And the bus driver said something about something tarjeta. Like, you don't have a card. You probably was like, do you
Yeah.
have a card? And I didn't even I was so exhausted and I looked like was like a deer in the headlights and I didn't know what to do and I didn't know what to do. And
Yeah.
some lady was like basically in Spanish like, don't worry, I got you. And she took her card out and she tapped it for me and I was just like, I at least know how to say thank you. So I was like, gracias,
Yes.
because I don't know what
Yeah.
happened. But like when I got so stressed, my Spanish just shut down. I was just like, oh my God.
Hmm.
I've
Hmm.
never gotten that. I've, another time I've gotten that stressed before, but I usually don't get like that stressed. And that was real tough. But
And so
then,
here's the thing,
yeah.
because it was part of the 2 day meetup in Zaragoza. I
Hmm.
was like, okay, I need to get because I was getting tram tickets so that you could
Yeah.
be able to get around in Zaragoza. The problem was one, um, if anybody was like coming from, if I was going to meet them in Madrid, I was just going to give them their tram ticket there. But
Hmm.
there was only one other person that was in Madrid that was actually coming to Zaragoza, and she ended up
Yeah.
not coming. We
Right.
met and we had a great time in Madrid, but for other her own reasons, she ended up not being able to make it to Madrid, to Zaragoza. So then I'm here and I'm seeing because, like, the other person, Rosalind, couldn't get into like
Like her
we were having the
Airbnb.
lunch in the park at this
Uh
restaurant,
huh.
all excited, and then you guys like were getting there at 1:32, and you're like, okay, I'm on my way. I'm like, girl, just stop, go back to your room, chill, just relax, just chill. We will get together this evening and we're going to have a great time. But right now, you're frazzled. Both of you guys completely frazzled. And I was
Let
like,
me tell you
just
something.
relax.
Let me tell you something. When I got into my hotel room, I looked at myself in the mirror I started crying.
Oh, jeez. Oh, poor thing. I
I
bet you
was
would.
so over it. I was like, why did I do this? Why did I can laugh about it now because let me
Yeah.
tell you something. We're gonna get into like when we all met up, but at that time, I just got into that hotel room and I just curled up in a fetal position with my two twin beds. And
And she was
I
still
opened up
trying
my
to meet us for lunch. And I was like, no, you're not. Go sit down. Okay.
trying to get my money's worth. And then I woke up, and then my poor partner, he had the rental car, and we had an electric car that we rented because we were just like, t- cost of gas is wild here. So he messages me and is like, I cannot charge this car to save the life of me. And it's like 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock local time in Spain. And he's like, I cannot charge this car. The car is at like 10% and my phone's at 15%. And he doesn't speak Spanish. And he's like,
Okay.
I need, and none of, and he's like, I went to like 3 charging spots and it's not working and I don't know what to do. And I'm just, and I thank goodness this issue just happened when I woke up from my nap because I felt
Mhm.
much better after my nap. And I was like, okay, how can we do this? Like, how can we make this work? So I was kind of like being like the Wade to his Kim Possible at this time and just trying to like troubleshoot in the background and just like, all right, let me go see if I can call this number. Let me go see if I can figure this out. Let me go see if I can like uh, download this app to see if the car will charge. And then it got to the point where we were just like, all right, either I was like, well, there's 3 things we can do. I was like, you can go back to the airport and see if they'll charge the car for you, go back to the airport and get another car, or go back to the airport and get another electric car or get a gas car. So it was just like, I was like, listen, I want you home and safe. You're
Mhm.
at a very low percentage. Just get the other car and we will figure it out we will figure it out. But you need to, there's no way like, and so it got to that point and I was listening to a podcast at the time about how to deal with culture shock when you first like arrive to a place. And one thing that really like stood out to me was you're gonna have these days where you have I hate insert country days.
Mhm.
I've had I hate Japan days. I've had I hate, Spain days. I've had all of those. Heck, I've had I hate my hometown days too. But it's not a reflection of your decision. It's just today is just a really tough day. And it's gonna get
Mhm.
better. And you can find the little bits of joy when you have sleep, when you eat, and then when you have a moment to kind of like just
Yeah.
get your peace
That's
and get your
that's something
bearings.
that's it's so important that people have to accept. I believe that you just have to accept this. If you want to country shop, move abroad,
Yeah.
just do slow travel, whatever it is, you have to
Yeah.
be open to the fact that shit's gonna happen. It's going to happen. And
Yeah.
there is a resolve. You might have to step back and be like, I can't deal with this at this particular second. Give me
Mhm.
15 minutes, give me a couple of
Yep.
hours, and then I can come
Yep.
back and regroup. But if you're the type, or if you know that you're the type that, if there's an issue and you can totally just break down, it's like the world's ending. It's not. Stuff happens. That's just the bottom line. And you have to
Yeah.
be a problem solver in the end. Just like with, pet sitting, if
Oh,
it's
yes.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes. There was a storm that happened recently, and I was pet sitting, and the power just cut off, and
Mhm.
and it was dark. I was in like my brain is saying all the words countryside. There it is. I know countryside in Japanese and Spanish, and those were coming in my freaking brain at the time. I've That's the tough part about being a wannabe polyglot. Anyway, but anyway, yeah, the countryside, and I didn't see not a lick, nothing. I was like, oh my gosh, I got no internet, and it's dark, like dark, dark, and my phone's at 50%. Let's see how we can do this. So, but thank goodness the power cut back on. But you gotta problem solving. It's,
Yeah.
just like you do at home. The only thing that's helpful when you're at home is just that you can speak the language and you know roughly like how to get around and all this other stuff. It's just going to be that extra little barrier of this is all, everything is new, and you're going to feel like an ugly baby because everything is brand new.
Mm-hmm.
Grocery shopping, learning the words for like your
Cashier.
things that you
Okay.
cashier.
Where's the ice? Yellow. Okay.
Do you need do you need a bag? Do you have a car?
Bolsa. Yeah.
Literally, oh my God. I had that similar situation when I was in Japan where they asked if they wanted me to heat up the food, and I didn't know what they were saying. And I was like, I don't know. And I was just like, no. And then I started, then after I got back to like where I was staying, I was like, let me just like research like what people actually say and then hear it and then just kind of memorize it and then know how to respond. And that's just, you just kind of do a little like situational fluency a little bit, and then you just try
Mm-hmm.
to figure it out. Um, but then I had the similar situation in Spain where they asked if I needed a bag, and my brain said to say "iye," which means no in Japanese. And I was like, wait, that's not
It's not it.
gonna work. And then I got frazzled and I was just like, no. Knowing full well that no in Spanish and English are no. Like,
And then you say no, and then they give you all your
yes,
groceries, and you're like, Where's the bag?" It's like
right. And
they're
then, well,
like,
you
"We
said
asked you."
no.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And so you just have to take it with a grain of salt. You're learning, and it's okay. I know they're gonna laugh. They're gonna giggle like, oh, this weird American. It's okay though, because you just that's the beauty I think of it. You don't have it all together. You don't,
Yeah,
you know, you're not
and you work through
perfect.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you work through it.
So tell me, what were your thoughts on Zaragoza? Is that possibly on your list?
Ooh, she's on the short list. Let me tell you something. So we were, and it's wild because a lot of places, besides the UK, we were just like, yeah, we really like this place. And there was a lot of places, but I was like, okay. So again, my partner, very logistical guy. He's very much like, all right, what are the things, and I'm very much like, what are the things that I want? And I really thought about like my lifestyle at home with the openness of knowing that I'm more than happy with my lifestyle to change wherever I decide to move to. I'm totally happy with that. There are some like things that I want to stay not necessarily the same, but things that I want to keep in mind. So for example, my sister has a little baby. She's my first nephew, and he just turned 1, and I want to be able to be, I want to be able to be an aunt that is there, even though I'm going to be moving abroad, even though I won't physically be there all the time. So
Yeah.
I want to be able to be close to a major city or close to a major airport, but not in the city. I don't want that city mess, all right? I don't want that big city problems. I'm good. I like seeing trees, all right? I like seeing trees. I like seeing public parks. I like being able to walk at night and feel safe. I like my night walks because Spain is hot. Spain gets cold and it gets hot, like really hot, and I'm heat
Hmm.
intolerant, so I don't really want to be in it. So I'm thinking about all these things about me, and I lay it all on a big old Google Doc, and I'm like, all right, what are these things, and then what are the boxes that many of these places can tick? And of course, is it a vibe? Like, I want to be inspired when I go outside and I walk around like neighborhoods and stuff. I want to, see things and observe and be able to have that fuel my artwork. I don't want to be in a place that looks gray and whatever, and that doesn't like bring that pours into me and feels nice, because I want to be able to be inspired by my location or inspired by where I am, and then being able to use that for my artwork. So Zaragoza's a vibe. Zaragoza's totally a vibe. I like how chill. I've asked folks in Spanish and in English, like, what is your favorite thing about living in Zaragoza? And a lot of people say they like it's muy tranquilidad, which is like it's very tranquil. Like
Well, yeah.
it's not as wild as like your Barcelonas and your Madrids. It still has safe. It still has a sense of safety. It's not as touristy. And that's just something that I'm also looking forward to because I'm from New York State, but I'm from New York State. I'm family in New York City, and I am not used to having a place that's overrun by tourists. Like
Yeah.
the most that I've had with being overrun by tourists, which was actually really nice, was during the recent the lunar eclipse or the solar eclipse, and it was
Mhm.
happening. And upstate had like it was in totality, so it was actually really cool to see that we had tourists and like from all over, and that was
Oh, the
amazing.
one
But
that was in the United States back in April? Yeah,
yeah,
that was
that was
crazy.
so
I had never
cool.
experienced that before, and I was literally on a bus up from Houston to Dallas,
Wow.
to get ready to catch a flight to leave the country, and I just in the middle of this, it just went dark, and
Dark.
it was amazing. I had never experienced that before.
Me
I've seen them,
too.
I've heard about it, but just to actually be driving down I-45 headed north and to have that experience
Yeah,
it was
so
wild.
cool.
Yeah.
It was
So,
such a
but
cool day, and it was so nice to like. It felt like what I wanted that day felt like what I wanted my city to feel like. And that's what I see in different countries or different countries and different cities in Europe. Like
yeah,
people at the park. For people just lounging and being at the park and on benches and reading and
yeah,
walking and jogging and just being out and with their families and just being out and enjoying the space instead of being not yeah, instead of just like being not outside or just like, or because I'm a mid-sized city and
mhm,
we drive in our car to get to the place. There's not been a lot of people that's walking downtown,
yeah,
and I'm not,
and it's
and
everywhere
so
here.
yeah, coming back home, I'm like, where is everyone? Oh, right. 60% of people don't own cars, and then our public transit sucks. So it's just like that explains it.
Yeah,
And it was
but
just that moment.
Eileen says,
Yeah.
a woman after my own heart. I love being in nature and being able to walk around the city's atmosphere is a no go. So I
Right.
do
And
want to
now,
just give you a heads up. I'm sorry, I just want to give you a heads up because I know that you have a hard in at
yes,
2:30. Okay, so
yes.
just giving you a heads up on that.
Thank
I
you.
do want to go ahead and take a step back and say, kind of recap our experience.
Yes. I want to, yes.
So, so
It
it
was what I
happened
needed.
again. It was I had a lunch planned, but it just didn't pan out. And so, I mean, me and my daughter and my sister-in-law, we ate. It was good, by the way. Yeah,
Yes. I know.
but
Y'all, I looked at that menu. I was like, oh, dang it.
but um, there's a place called Chicana here in Zaragoza. It's an Ecuadorian restaurant, and
Oh, yeah.
the owner Brian and his wife, and I don't know his wife's name. Apologies, Brian, if you're watching this. But I love that place. He is just such a caring. Um, he's such a caring person. They just started their business in July. They started the restaurant, and I think we probably go at least once a month. And so whenever
Yeah.
I have anybody coming in, I'm like, oh, we have to go to Chicana. But that Thursday night, they had a wine tasting with some foods. And also they had some performance, Ecuadorian dance
Yeah.
performers. It was very, very intense. But so my sister-in-law and I, we came around the corner coming to meet you and some others, and it was just so great. It was
It
like this
was, I'll tell
again,
you,
the big
like,
hug.
like how it worked for us. So me and Rosalind, we ended up meeting, and it was so fun because we just saw each other and we knew that like we were there for the same thing. Like we
Mhm.
just, oh yeah, okay, okay, no, yeah, let's,
Yes,
you
I
have a
see
bunch
you.
of folks. I see, yeah, you're not just here for coincidence. And so we started talking and like and getting to know each other and expressing what has been going on with our trip to get here. And then y'all two walk around the corner and we're just like, hey! And just that feeling of warmth and instant acceptance in a relatively new place, in a place
Mhm.
where your language is like my language skills is not like the best. I can get around, but it's not like as good as I want it to be. Like I can't fully express myself the way that I can in English and Spanish or Japanese especially. And it's just it just felt so lovely to just be like sitting at that table drinking my sweet vermouth and just being able to and just have these deep heartful laughs with everyone. It was really lovely.
Yeah, there was
It
nothing
was
pretentious about it. It was just pure. It was the most pure conversations and joy that we experienced. And again, Brian, the owner at Chicana, just made us feel so welcome. He had this
yeah.
whole thing. Everything was like kind of family style downstairs, where they had the wine tastings. And I'm not a wine drinker, but I did partake. And it was just the funny thing was, and I think we told you about it when my daughter and Rhonda and I were having lunch earlier. We were talking about um what is that? Not escargot, the snails. What is it? Oysters. We were
Yes, let's
talking about
go. Oh,
oysters. Yeah,
oysters.
we were talking about oysters
Mm.
and about how we've never had like the raw ones and everything. And one of Rhonda's family members used to love it just to get it raw and just like suck it down or whatever. And
Just
so
shuck it
we
and
had
suck it.
just yes. And so we literally were talking about how I said, no, I don't have any urge to ever eat raw oysters. Have no urge at all. What's the first thing we see when we get to that restaurant for the wine tasting? Right then and there. Raw oysters, please. Right there.
It
We
was
were like,
so
we looked at
good.
each other like, what the hell?
It was
Why is this
amazing.
here?
I
And it was
loved
good.
it. It was good. It was so good.
And so,
It was
but
so
yeah,
good.
so that was a beautiful experience. It was really cool the next day when I took you guys out on the unofficial walking tour. And the reason I say it like that is because I am not a tour guide, but I have enough knowledge to share and just take you to some great points that I thought that I felt like definitely we would definitely enjoy. So just to see the cathedral, to go to the Evra
Yeah.
River, to walk
Yeah.
along on the other side,
Yeah.
um, and have the guy that we're not sure is trying to mug us or he was just picking up cigarette butts off the ground.
I
It
don't
is
think
what it is.
he was in
Okay.
his own world,
Yeah, he didn't
and
care.
he didn't care, but I was looking at him just like, all right, cool. Like
Yeah.
9 times out of 10 too, like I don't feel unsafe in Spain,
Mhm.
or I don't usually, it's interesting for me, I don't usually feel unsafe in places. Um, but of course, like my own like fears and things like that
Yeah.
is usually the main thing that makes you feel unsafe in a say. It's usually like an internal thing, but it's
Mhm.
also good to like stay vigilant too. So it's one of those things that's just like, it's really tough, especially being taught that other countries are dangerous and other
Mhm.
people are going to mug you and they're out to get you and they're out to harm you. And that's, I when I went to my solo trip to Mexico, I ended up taking a local bus from, the port in Progreso all the way to Merida. It was a
Mhm.
local bus, like local, local. Like I think I was one of four tourists that was on that bus, and that was my first time. And for some reason, I didn't know how I got all these narratives in my brain. But I had this narrative like Mexicans are thieves and they wanted this and they want to do these to you and
Yeah.
da da da. And that just took a minute. And I just like I was just like in my surroundings. I'm looking to my left. I'm sitting next to this little abuelita on my left. And I'm looking around and I just see it's early in the morning and there's like these kids, they're on their phones and they're like teenagers, they're on their phone. And I'm like, wait a minute. So if people are going to steal my phone, my cracked, it's Galaxy S10, by the way, with tape to so my fingers don't don't get on the
Like, you don't
get
nobody
on the
study about
crack,
your phone.
right? And I'm like, wait. So if I have my phone out, but they got their phone out, just chilling, watching like a YouTube video or whatever, and people are just relaxing. It's like the local bus back home, and it was so funny because like it's a statement that it's a realization I made, which it's a no duh for anyone of they're just like us, like people are just like us, or I'm just like them. That was the
Mhm.
the thing that I got from it. I was like, oh, like people are on their way to their second job or on their way to work
They're
or they're on their
living
way
their
to
normal
school
life.
or they're just doing like what we do at home. Like that's it. It's just a little different. Like it's not that You
But I
know?
will say this. I will say this. It was funny because I peeped it. I have a picture of you guys. So with the gentleman that was, looking for the cigarette butts and stuff, and I was
Oh,
trying to take a camera, but it was three black, well, four of us. But y'all standing up there, you, Rhonda and Rosalind, y'all look like it was like Charlie's Angels. Like I like that black woman pose. Like, okay, all right, we might have to jump in. We gonna see what he's gonna do. There was this look like that came so natural. It's like, we're not gonna start nothing. Don't start nothing, won't be nothing. But it was like this kind of stance that each of you had looking, and I was like, you're fine. You're absolutely fine. It was like,
and
okay. And then
you,
when he walked away, you kind of calmed down, like, oh, okay, we ain't gotta beat nobody
yeah.
down today.
Right. It was so funny. And you were just taking pictures like, oh, look at this. This is cute. And you were aware. I knew I saw you were aware. And I saw
Yes,
you saw that he
hyper-aware,
was
make no
there.
mistake, but I
Right.
wasn't.
And you were just
Y'all were
chilling. And
like,
I was like, and that's I cannot wait to like I don't want to say forever get my guard down, but like get my guard down for realsies. Like that's gonna
yes,
be some and most of the time I do. I don't know, man. I be in these New York City streets, like with music in my ear and just having a whole time because of this perceived safety. This I don't know what's going on, but I usually don't. I don't know. I guess I move and shake a little differently in a different vibration, but but
well, I'm just
it's
glad
also
that, I'm
it's
just
what I'm
glad
used
that
to.
yeah, hold on, I'm trying to find my earbuds keep coming out anyways, 1 year. So, but I'm just so glad that, we found this community. It's like, you weren't part of like the experience in Madrid, but it's just like all that week, it was just, black women getting together, every day. It was like meeting other women, and some,
Yeah.
are traveling here by themselves for the first time. And they were like, yeah,
Hmm.
I'm going to go meet Yolanda. Yes, let's go do this. And it was just such a wonderful experience. And again, feeling all the love and
Yeah.
positive vibes, and people just sharing what they want their goals to, what their goals look like, and everybody
Yeah.
doesn't have like a necessarily well planned out goal, but to have some kind of thought process, and that you're actually, coming to a different country like Spain to
Hmm.
see, you know, and it's just a glimpse.
Yeah.
And then maybe you'll come back because, again, I didn't know. I came to Spain 4 times before I was like, I'm gonna move here. I'm moving here.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Yeah. I think
and that's the
that I
environment I want to create.
yeah, it's important for me. And it's important, I think, too, if you're going to be doing this thing, if you're going to think about uprooting your whole life, everything, whatever, for me in the States, life is comfortable. Like, I have a job that I love. I'm near family. I'm in a city that is not expensive to live in. That's not like super, super
Hmm.
expensive to live in. Quality of life, got the house. I did the things. I did all the things, right? So, and then, sometimes I go like, am I really about to just uproot everything and change everything so that I can like for this unknown. Like I've got everything. Everything
Absolutely.
is fine. And then I think about it, and every time I leave the country, I'm just like, ah, dang it. I like it too much. And it's just, I like it too much. I want to be out of the country. I want to base myself somewhere else. I want to be able to go to markets and get fresh fruit and vegetables. Like when I was in Chile, I remember buying avocados and then I was like, oh no, I've got one avocado left. I got to make this stretch. I can't, avocados are so expensive. And then I ended up thinking, there was like a voice in my head was like, wait a minute, you could just walk down to the Mercado on the street and get more avocados. It's not that big of a deal. And I was like, whoa, wait a second. That's my life can change and I can just shake stuff up because one, I can, and two, you know, I want to be able to do that. And the thing that I want to leave with our audience today is just having that community is so important because you will know that you're not the crazy one, that you just want to go out and you're staying in people's houses and watching over their cats, or you're doing things, you're doing life a little bit differently, which is so,
Yeah.
it's so important that like you surrounding yourself with other people that share that like the world, your life can be different, and the way that you move and shake can be different, and it's not a bad thing. It's just different.
There you go. There you go. Well, I thank you so much for joining. I actually just put your the link for the membership that you're offering through Pretty Kitty Paintings. And so, guys, please do go and check that out. I'm going to also put that into the description in just a bit. But I thank you so much, and I feel like still have so much more to talk about.
We have.
So, yeah,
I'm
I'll
coming
be
back.
hitting you up again.
I'm coming back. Yeah.
Yes, yes. She's but you know what? She shall be back and I'm excited. And this is really again me just jumping off into starting to actually interview regularly. So sometimes you might catch me by myself just talking, but I really do like just doing the interview. This is fun.
Yeah, I love
Okay.
it. This is so fun. I have so much to share, y'all. I can't wait to talk about all the things.
Yes. Well, check her out on Instagram again. It is
At Pretty Kitty
I'm sorry, yeah,
Paintings.
at Pretty Kitty Paintings. And also moi. In the descriptions, I'm actually gonna put this on here because I am making if you want to do I'm sorry, I can't think right now. Sign up for my email subscription. I'm gonna
Yeah,
put that in there for moi. Yes, just so because
yeah.
I am making some big plans. There's some things happening after this experience in this meetup. I learned so much. I'm so grateful for that whole experience and that you were part of it, Melquea. But I
This is
also know
amazing.
that I want to go bigger. And
Yes.
like D from H&D, she's like, really? I was like, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I heard a
2025,
little bit of the plans, y'all, and I was like, "Ooh, it's gonna be." This was just the beginning.
yeah, this was, and I didn't know it, but I'm like, yes, it's like the God, whatever. He's saying, there's more. Keep on, keep on. So that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But until then, again, I thank everybody who joined me. And when you're watching the replay in the future, please do make sure you comment, give me your thoughts. I would love to know what you feel, how you're feeling about it, and what are some of your goals. Okay. So
Yes.
I am Yolanda, and this is Melquea. And let's see if I can actually have this go off right. I never do. Where is my brand? Okay, because I like to have my music when I'm going out, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So let's see. But anyways, is it doing it? Nope, not yet. Okay. Anyways, y'all have a great day. Hold on, Melquea.